that I could have both in the same entity.
Yes.
And I don't have to go outside of this.
Literally under the same roof.
Literally under the same roof.
Hello and welcome to Canadians Talking About Money. I am your host, Alana, and today we are sitting with the fabulous Heather from Little Gems. Now, my intro for her is a little bit different than some others because she's in a magazine right below the Zeckelmans. So that is going to be Heather's intro. So have a look at the latest issue of The Drive because that kind of gives us some basics around who she is, but we're going to get into the juicier stuff. So Heather, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So let's start in the early days. Heather, in the early days, what was it like growing up in your household, and give us some nuggets around where you learned about money?
I think the most important thing that in my household was that I came from immigrants. I'm the daughter of immigrants, and that played heavily in our lives, in stories, but also in how we treated money and how we looked at things around us and how can we reuse and how can we save. So a lot of our family stories when they were in Canada revolve around washing out milk bags and hanging them on the line to dry because those things are reusable. Using whole parts of animals. And I'm not going to get into some of the gross stories, but this
Which
is what
is
we
a
were
delicacy today,
Yes.
but people forget about that. Yeah.
Right? Like the peasant foods, are now in style.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of those stories were told over and over again. And one of them that was my mom tells about her dad coming over here is that when he came over to Canada from Italy, we're Italian, he didn't have shoes. And so the priest in the town where they lived gave him his shoes to come on the boat. And that sort of, as we grew older too and wanted things and wanted more things and were, being taught lessons was, remember, your grandfather came here with no shoes. Mm-hmm. So that really embedded, I think, in me and my brother and sister and even my cousins that don't take anything for granted. Yes. Be grateful. Mm-hmm. And work. And even if it's the harder route, if it saves money,
yeah,
that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. So that was the base of money, and obviously hard work.
Yes.
From a young age, babysitting, going into waitressing at the Fogelar.
Mm-hmm.
And I also taught piano.
Okay.
So I had a couple jobs going at one time. So yeah, everything, we didn't get allowance. So we worked and we had our money and we were allowed to spend that money, but we also had to save some. So yeah, bring, that into the future and that into teenage years in the 20s. Like I purchased things I wanted. I wasn't given everything. That was our lesson. And I'm grateful for that.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like the immigrant story, other than for the Canadians that were here before the immigrants,
Absolutely.
is definitely one that's relatable for a lot of people. And having that, hey, we're hardworking, we didn't come from a lot, and we really had to use what we had, right? And yeah, I think that a lot of our viewers will be able to, especially grandma and grandpa, right? And then we get to a time in life where grandma and grandpa have worked hard and then they want to share that. I remember my grandmother was just like, eat, eat, eat. So I'm sure in an Italian household, you went through something similar like that. So yeah, make sure that everybody's fed was like the primary thing, right?
Yes, exactly. And my grandmother was the last to sit at the table.
Yeah.
Because she had to make sure everyone else had, and then she would sit down after preparing and cooking all day.
All day, yeah.
It's kind of par and parcel with the whole story. So.
Definitely. So let's jump forward a number of years, considering where we are sitting today, and fill everybody in on why we are in children's consignment shop. And so bring us to here.
Okay. Oh my goodness. This is not my territory. By trade, I'm a metalsmith and a jeweler and a diamond grader, and I worked for 16 years in the jewelry industry. Had my own kids, and my mom did this consignment. I remember growing up, her preparing our clothes and bringing them to the shop, and then her purchasing from there. So that was a part of our life. So when I had my own kids, it was natural that we started doing this. And as time wore on, I thought, how can we do this in a modern way? How can we make this better? How can we make it different? Not even better, different. How can we make this different? And so me and my sister-in-law, my sister chatting, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. To my husband, my poor husband, I'm going to quit my well-paying job and do something I have no idea how to do.
Yeah, against all the stats around entrepreneurship and startups, I'm going to do this.
And I had a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old at home. And on their nap times and into the night when they were in bed, I would be researching POS systems, fixtures, hangers, racks. How's the best way to do this? I was starting from scratch. I didn't ask anybody how to do this. I thought, I'm just going to figure it out. So I literally, what you see here, figured out. And my sister-in-law was so lovely in helping me. She was up late nights with me. We were in my basement tagging and making Facebook pages and trying to get this thing off the ground. So we made it up as we went, which has worked. A lot of things haven't. And here we are, 7 years later, with 9 staff and incredible consigners and customers. We are here. So the risk and the scariness paid off, I guess.
Yeah.
It was super scary.
Yeah.
And I just need to tell everybody that the first day I was open, not one person came in my store.
Really?
The first day I was open, and I remember going home, and my husband was so excited for me to come home, and he was like, how did it go?
Yeah.
Like, how was the first day?
People were lined up around the corner.
No. Nobody came. And he's like, pardon? And I was like, nobody came. And he's like, oh, so you made no money today? I was like, none.
Yeah.
So I always reference that day. I was like, oh,
absolutely.
Man, how do I go in there a second day?
Oh, that's such a great story.
And I go the second day, and I made $20. Okay. And I'll never forget our first day where we had a $200 day. And again, me and my sister-in-law, she was helping and working with me. And we were screaming because we had it like it was just such a victory for us.
Absolutely. And to go from that, nobody showing up on first day, to profitability in, you've shared this with me before, so it was like record time.
I feel that. I feel like I've always chased it.
Yeah, okay.
So I feel like the business has always been ahead of where I was ready to be.
Yeah.
So that part of it, yes, grateful.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But that trying to keep up with a machine that was running at a speed that I was not being able to keep up with.
Yes.
And then now we're introducing staff.
Yes.
And how are we going to catch up to this machine? And staff, as a lot of people know, are your biggest expense.
Yeah.
Okay, so now can we afford to pay someone? Okay. So it's just always gradual and chasing and whew.
Let's go back to concept for a second, because your concept with this location was, there are a lot of people doing kids consignment out there in like what we'll call the big box type thrift donation consignment, but not even consignment, but like donation style stores. But you wanted this to be boutique. You really wanted it to be a different experience for people. Yeah. And so consigners and shoppers obviously loved that. People coming in, you weren't finding anything that had any stains on it, or most things would still have tags on them. And that definitely was a different experience for those people who were out there shopping at like garage sales and whatever else and trying to get essentially discount, gently used or not even used children's clothes.
Sure.
So yeah, I can see how that kind of propelled thing with more and more consigners coming in, more and more shoppers coming in, and then the need to staff and keep that going. Can you talk a little bit about where you would fall behind in this type of business and that feeling of being crunched?
Yes, and I'm sure I know we have a wonderful community in this city of consignment shop owners, and I think they would be like, yes. Sometimes the intake, which you need intake,
Yeah.
overwhelms the system.
Yeah.
And it takes manpower. So it's not a matter of, oh, you just take in the clothes, you price them, and you make money. No, there are levels to this. In our processing alone, there are 6 or 7 steps from receiving to hanging to steaming. Everything is steamed in here. I don't know if people know that, but every single, there's about 10,000 pieces in this store right now, and every single piece gets steamed. That part there is over. You need manpower for that. So when you're growing and this is happening and you don't have the manpower, it's you that's coming back at night.
Yeah.
To do it. And it's fine. But again, we have a family.
Yes.
And it's this is, and then it gets off balance.
Yeah.
And the overwhelming. So yes, pricing. So it's not so much the selling of it and the marketing and everything else. It's the actual processing of the product. I'm not calling up a supplier and saying, hey, can you send me 100 of the same thing?
Yeah.
And then just putting one SKU on them. Every single piece is hand tagged, hand steamed, hand selected. So there's a lot of love in here.
Yeah.
But whoa, it gets overwhelming. It's a lot of work.
Tell me about the steaming for a second. Is that a make it look good, or is that a sanitary thing?
Both. That is
Both,
something
yeah.
I started, again, by accident. I'm like, we had a little hand steamer. Oh my goodness. Like this thing.
Back in the day.
I'm just gonna see what it looks like if we do this. And I was like, oh, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So that just evolved into, we need to do this. We need everything to look like this. And it's just one of those little things. It's my thing.
Yeah.
That people might not notice when they come in. It's like, why? Why does it feel so different in here? We're hand steaming everything. All the hangers match. But that was like a by fluke. And now, and I believe too, now that we do it, I think the sanitary thing comes into play too.
Yeah.
And the different smells from people's houses and cooking and things like that. It helps with that as well. And it's another point of inspection.
Yes.
That's where we really get to see, if something's been missed. And we're not perfect, Alana. Sometimes things make it to the floor. We're humans. We're all trying our best. But yeah, that's what we do. Most things, my answer is going to be, well, that was an accident. Just and then some things that were accidents that no one sees anymore because, oh, those were not good ideas, or those were time suckers, or those were not worth the amount of staff to pay it took to facilitate that. So.
But there weren't enough of those to put you under, which is amazing. And for a lot of business owners, it's one mistake after another mistake after another mistake, and they're falling behind to the point where they can't make rent or they can't make payroll or something else. And so you've managed to stay ahead of it, even if it's meant a whole lot of late nights.
Yeah.
And not just for you. Let's talk a little bit about the family members who have helped out and kind of what happens if stuff doesn't get sold.
Yeah. Family members. My family, bless my husband, and my kids. My kids will come in here and they help up in the donation center, which we'll get to. That's where unsold stuff happens. My mom is in charge of our donation center. My dad fixes things that I have tried to fix and didn't go well, so he comes and fixes the things that I tried to fix. My sister-in-law, who helped me open, there you go. From day one was into this. Actually, our logo and name I can attribute to her. My sister, my brother-in-law, extended family, incredible support system there.
Yeah.
That's a really, really important thing, I think, is to have, it doesn't have to be big, but just someone who is like, you can do it, or yes, I can help you. And what happens here, by fluke, I have to mention this, is our staff becomes family. We call ourselves like this little band of misfits, and we are like our own little family here, and hand selected. And I always say everyone ends up here for a reason.
Yes.
So it's and I think it's reflected in our social media, the goofy things we do and things like that. They're amazing. My staff, if I give them an idea, they go and devote themselves to crazy ideas I have, and they're like, yes, and they're amazing, and I feed off them too. So what happens to things after that don't sell?
No, but that's important actually, because I'm jumping out of order, and I think that part of the social media piece and your followers and what you're doing, I mean, it does not just the staff become family, but the consigners in a way, and everybody that's following along, they're like, oh my gosh, did you see this post? And it's almost this I'm going to use the word like cultish enjoyment, because we do see things that are going on, being followers, and it looks like you guys are having fun, which means it's a place that people want to go shop and they want to go consign, they want to do business with you. So you're doing really well doing that, and they're the reason that works. So yeah,
from day one, like on board with that, and totally grateful. I hope people feel that when they come in, because we really do have a good time. But like any family, sometimes it gets stressful, but we really do have a really great time. And they treat this place like it's their own. How many like owners can say, there are 9 of us. I've got 8 people. Yeah. And every single one of them cares as much as me. It's unprecedented. I feel that. I really do.
Yeah, no, I talk to a lot of business owners, and a lot of them, their biggest complaint is, why doesn't the staff feel like this place is their own? And it's like, well, there's reasons, but in some, I'm not going to say lucky, because it is, it's energetic the way that it actually works. And so energetically, you guys have come together for definitely a reason and a purpose. And and it's working.
It's working.
It's working.
It's working. We're here. We're doing it.
We're still doing it.
Yes, that's what I say. That's what I will. At some tense times, I will. That's exactly what I will say. I'm like, we're doing it. Like that's my cheer, and they're like, everyone kind of comes out. Okay, yes, we're doing it, and we're all here in the best interest of it. So, and they know too. The better we do, the better they do, and like, there's just, it's like a beautiful circle. So,
good. Mm-hmm. Okay, so product is taken in. There's a whole lot of social media marketing happening, which is amazing. A lot of the stuff sells even before it hits the floor, which is phenomenal. But what does get on the floor sells. And then occasionally there's stuff that doesn't sell. And if it doesn't sell, let's go back to that. Yes. I was out of order.
Yes. So we digress. Okay, so 2 things can happen when people sign up to open an account with us. They have an option right on the sheet they fill out. Anything after 90 days that doesn't sell, automatic donation. Donations stay local. Or they go into our grab bag initiative, which we can talk about later. Or they can request their items back to them. So what happens is I have an inventory manager come in once a week. She comes in one day. She pulls the store, we call it pulling. And the consigners who want it back get their email. They have 7 days to pick it up. The consigners who don't, it goes up to our donation center and then is sorted, and that's a whole other business in its own right. Wow, that's a lot of work up there too that my mom does. But
did you ever think you were going to be the philanthropist that you are in that respect?
Yeah, I always in my heart like love all that giving, but never understood that I could have both in the same entity. Yeah, I don't have to go outside of this.
Literally under the same roof.
Literally under the same roof that developed and is growing, and I still have a lot more ideas, and it's flourishing, and we do a lot of stuff in the background that we don't like. We post certain things on social media because we want to be accountable to our people too. They want to see where their stuff is going. Yes. So some people say, oh well, there she's bragging again. No, they want to see. I want to show people this is where your things are going. These are the people you're helping. Yes. It's not me. It's not my stuff. It's their stuff, and it's staying within the community, and it's incredible. But we also do a lot of background, work in the background, and there's levels to it too. We work with agencies in the city, one-on-one and privately, and do a lot of that stuff too. So any agencies, if you need help or anything, let us know. We're happy to work with you. So and the volume, you would be very surprised at the volume that comes in and out and up and donated and sold, and like it's a lot of volume.
It's an ecosystem.
It is. Yeah. Yep. It's a beautiful circle. Like it really works well. And I love when people like they buy something and then they reconsign it. And then they buy something and then they reconsign. Like it's like
well, I don't know if I marked the page on here. I must have. The ad, I was like, that is so perfect, right? Clothes don't grow, kids do. So anybody who's got the magazine right there. And yeah, I think parents, I know when I had my baby shower, you get all of this amazing stuff that's all brand new from grandma and grandpa and aunties and cousins and all the rest of it. You're like, wow, this is so awesome. And then there's so much of it that the kids shoot right past it, or it gets stained on and you're just like, I don't have time to deal with the stain, or whatever the case may be. And then they're out of that size and you're just like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And so for parents and grandparents and anybody who is looking after, I know that you guys also have some programs for adoptive parents, and I mean, really, everybody who has kids is dealing with this, and it's like, how do I dress them for less? And that's part of the motto, right?
Yes. Yeah. And we want them to feel like they're doing something special when they come in here and they're purchasing something special. And that's why we do all these things that we talked about earlier. And one of our taglines is, you might forget your shopping consignment. And it's those things that, you know, it makes you feel like something when you come in here. That's what we strive for.
Yes.
It's not just come in, come out, drop off clothes and leave. We want you to feel that energy, that essence, the goodness of it all, I guess.
So let's talk about the grab bags, because I don't know who to say, hey, awesome idea to, but awesome idea!
Yes. Oh my goodness. That was I was scared to do those.
Really?
That was really scary for me because I didn't know how that was going to go over.
You didn't know how it was going to be received by the public?
How that was going to be received by the public. People wondering, where's this stuff coming from?
Gotcha.
But it was literally one of those things where it was like, okay, years and years and years. And then my mom, we were talking about it. I'm like, you know what? We're doing it. And we're doing it right now. And she was like, but I'm leaving for vacation for 5 weeks. I won't be. I'm like, I'll just figure it out. I'll just figure it out. And we did it. Oh boy. Was that like, it was incredible.
So for anybody watching or listening, can you give us kind of the synopsis of what it is? Because I obviously know what it is, but they don't know what it is.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so what our grab bags are so those clothes we talked about that go up, I keep pointing up because it's upstairs from here, that are chosen to be donated after 90 days, go upstairs. And we file and filter them by gender, by size up there. So what we had was an excess of clothes. Our local charities and people we worked with didn't need any more clothes. They were like, we don't need any clothes anymore. So I was like, how do I turn these clothes into money for these charities?
Yeah.
This is and so this was where it started. How do I make these clothes into money? Well, you know, and it has to be efficient. And it has to be, and this is what we did. So we took bags from the dollar store and we put in size 5 girls and we sold the bags for $20.
Yeah.
All seasons, all conditions. So there's not going to be everything perfect in that bag. But for $20, I know that the customer is happy that like the $20 is going to charity.
Yeah.
Like 100% goes to charity, guys. $20 going to charity. They're getting great stuff, even if some of it may be playware.
Yeah.
And so we launched this and we were posting them online and people were going crazy.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what did we do here? Because in there, like, you know, the $20 for a bag of clothes for kids is an incredible.
Yeah. And I think when people think grad bags, they might think like, you know, like small kind of bag, but like we're talking like those full, like big bags. And a lot of stuff that you guys are literally stuffing in there.
So this is our way of turning the excess of clothes that there is no need for in the community right now. Obviously, we're still working with agencies on the side and whatever, but we have an excess into money. And then we went and delivered the first round. That was a fun day. We went and delivered checks all over the city and just were like, here's money. Go buy what you need. Go use it for what you have buying power.
Yeah.
I don't have.
So that they can do the consumables.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Or if they needed a new mattresses or whatever, they did that. So I'm so grateful the way the community received it.
Yes.
And people dug it and it was awesome. And this year we've raised over $9,000 in grab bags and that has gone directly to the community.
Yeah.
What? So saying that, I would really like my consigners to consider, you know, instead of picking your stuff up, the couple pieces that don't sell, let us have it in the donation center. We're flipping that into like food and essentials for the community.
And let's talk about that for a second, because I don't know that anybody who is, you know, you fill your form out as a consignor initially and you're just like, well, yeah, I brought in a bumbo or I brought in something that's like a $20 or $30 item. I kind of want it back because I've got so-and-so my family I want to give it to. But if you're not going to make the point of getting back in those 7 days, it's going to end up there anyway. So for all of the 95% of other things that you bring in that aren't those big things, then it makes it easier for everybody, right? At
Yeah.
the end of the day.
Yeah,
And then
it
you don't
does.
have that staff coming through
Sure.
and trying to pull, which is
So-
a cost to you.
That's, and not only the cost, but it's the energy. So we
Yeah.
have not found a solution to using plastic bags
Yes.
to do that. So that's my number one thing, right? Around here, like we've done a lot of things in the last couple of years. Like we've gotten rid of Lysol wipes. We're using reusable things. We're trying not to use as many bags. So that is costing bags. That's costing computer time. That's costing electricity. That's resources.
Yeah.
And then when we have to unbag them and then sort them, it's resources. So yeah, let it go. Like it's good karma. Like,
I love that you're going there because just in this conversation, but also like in the entity that is, the environmental impact, the fact that there are clothes that these agencies, good, clean, in some cases new clothes that these agencies are saying, you know what, we've got too much, speaks to the environmental problem that there is right now. And so we have, as a planet, we have this backlog of clothing. And if more people would buy used and send it into the cycle in stores like yours, then yeah, I think that as a planet we would have less of that headache, right?
yes, it's a fabulous idea. I always say though, I have to like underline that with a little bit of a caveat of, if we didn't have the people that buy new, it wouldn't drive this industry either.
No,
So-
I get you, but just not to the extent that we're currently
Yes.
consuming it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we're driving the need for that. The essence of it is, it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Yes, yes.
And that's a huge thing. Like, and we say that in our ads. Like, you don't have to shop secondhand all the time.
Yeah.
You don't have to have your Christmas presents all gently loved under the tree.
Yeah.
It's a mixture. It's the mixture and that mindset. So every little change, if we can change that one mom's mindset to like, oh, I'm gonna go look there first.
Yes.
Yes, that's what you're saying, and it's amazing. Like it's a huge problem right now.
Yes.
It's a huge problem right now.
Yes.
But we're driving that market.
Yes.
as
Well,
consumers.
and let's go there next. The number of not just children's consignment shops, but women's consignment shops, secondhand shops.
Yes.
It is growing like crazy. And I know you can speak to just locally the number of kids consignment shops over your experience.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Sorry, I was like, because I'm watching people come after me.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, are you? No, this industry is unique in the way of you have to change people's thinking
Yeah.
to do this. That's why I say you might forget your shopping consignment. So as we need to flip people's thinking. So the more stores like this, the more children's consignment shops, children's resale shops out there, the more exposure to the industry and the more exposure to me.
Yeah.
So we all do well because we're actually changing people's minds.
Yeah.
We're developing a culture. This is not just another kids clothing shop. We have to work to get people to think in a certain way. And I think, bring it on. I love it. I think the more of us, the merrier.
Mm-hmm.
It just drives it all.
Yeah.
It drives it all. I bless it. And I just, I think
Well,
it's
and for those
wonderful.
shoppers, like you said, to put that on the list and say, hey, that's somewhere that's on my list, that's somewhere I need to check first, or that's somewhere I need to go for this particular item. And to that point, I need to bring up the fact that you and I had previously talked about like an RV trip to hit a whole bunch of different shops. And I know that we both, when we are traveling, make sure that there are certain consignment shops in particular cities that we have to go to because it's, they've got a different vibe, they've got different products. You always find something unique and interesting, and it's part of the adventure, I guess. It's part of the travel experience.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, it is always an adventure.
It is.
You never know what you're gonna find.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bless it. I love it. I love the whole thing of it. And it's funny, my kids are being raised in the same way. When we need something, it's like, oh, we need something. Like, oh, where are we gonna go first? So depending what we need, we head to somewhere we can buy it secondhand. Just get in there, and then we find other treasures, and it's a whole adventure. And
Yes.
yes.
It's that time of the year where everybody's got that iceberg or pyramid or whatever going around on the internet about, can you borrow it? Can you buy consignment? And
Yep.
then you've got like buy new with experiences at the top and all that kind of stuff. So we're definitely that time of the year, and people are learning about this right now. What is something that your shoppers or consigners, whatever way you want to tackle this, need to know about shopping, particularly around holiday season?
There's so many good things about this. If you are a seasoned parent and have spent a Christmas morning putting together a Barbie house or the like, you and I both know it's not a pleasant experience in all cases. What you're getting when you're buying something that's gently loved on consignment, it's put together. Not only is it put together, is it has to come in here with fresh batteries.
Yes.
So it is under the tree, ready to go, ready to play with. The kids don't have to wait.
Yep. You're not spending 20 minutes cutting zip ties and trying to like reef it out of the box.
You are finishing your coffee on the couch while they are playing with it in that packaging that you just mentioned. All that zip, all that consumer, the byproduct of that has already been done.
Yeah.
So you are not hauling out garbage bags or recycling or whatnot of product packaging. It is literally, they come down. Imagine coming down to seeing everything assembled as a child, ready to go.
Well, and I think the kids get so frustrated, right? It's like they get it out of the wrapping paper if you're using wrapping paper or reusable bags or whatever your family does, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, can you get it out of this box for me? And then they have to sit there for 5 or 20 minutes or whatever it takes to like get it all out.
And then you don't have the right size batteries.
Yes.
And you're in your pajamas and it's Christmas morning and you don't have the right size batteries.
You're like, sorry, you have to wait until they open.
Yep. Yeah. So, that's a factor too. Obviously, the biggest factor of that is like you're going to save. You're going to save money on that too. So, and then when they're done playing with it, you can consign it. And so the circle continues. Yeah. So consider it. I know it's a lot of people are hung up on having everything new at Christmas, and I get that. Like I said, it's never all the way one way in our house either.
Yeah.
But consider those little things, those little extras you do can be things that are gently loved, consigned. It's put together. It's good. It's a good thing. Make it a consignment Christmas. That's what we make a consignment Christmas. It's
even 50 or 75% or 10% if it's your first Christmas.
Yeah, cool. Like just one thing. Like how cool is that? Yeah. I'll throw it in with the rest of the stuff. Most kids won't know the difference, right?
Okay, so let's return to the opening of shops in the area, new entrepreneurs going into the consignment business, and I feel as though you've got a lot of expertise in this now that you've been open for as long as you are, and maybe you've got some tips or nuggets or wisdom, maybe, I know you do, to line them up for success if they're either struggling right now, even though the industry is doing well, but maybe behind closed doors things are stressful as a business owner.
Yeah, sure. I think one of the most stressful things, as I'm speaking on my experience, was the bookkeeping aspect of this. Because it's all fun to do displays and order hangers, but the bookkeeping end is such a huge part of this. And it's a unique type of bookkeeping consignment. It's not traditional. So being diligent about that, paying the money, even though you might not have it in the beginning, for a bookkeeper, a good bookkeeper, having your accounting in a row, accounting things in a row, the paying your government things on time. Don't learn the hard way and have to pay, interest or fees. Get your stuff straight with the CRA. That was a big eye opener for me. Yeah. Because that is the unromantic side of owning a business. There's a lot of unromantic, but that's probably the biggest. It's probably the biggest. But yeah, the book, have that squared away opening day. Because if that gets behind you, because you get, like I said, you get overwhelmed with intake, you get overwhelmed with clients and customers, and that falls behind 5, 6, 7 months, it's a hard hole to climb out of.
For people who are in it right now, did you find that it was something that you wanted to learn how to do and you were going to do it? Or did you right off the bat say, no, I've got to hire somebody to do this and I'm not going to try to learn this bookkeeping system?
I I wanted to learn.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs are like DIY. I'm going to wear all the hats. I'm going to learn this.
I want to learn, but there gets to a point where you can't.
Yeah, you can't run your store and do all the other things and do that piece.
And my mom was gracious. Like, my mom did accounting before, so she was very helpful in the beginning. But then there came a point where I had to hire a bookkeeper, and she was here today, an accountant, and but I asked the questions.
Yes.
And much to their chagrin, sometimes I'm like, but why? But why? And how? I want to know that. I don't do it. I don't like not knowing. And I always want to know that everything is, that's one of my things. I have to have it all in a row. I have to put my head on my pillow at night. I need to know that my accounting and everything is up to date and good. The joke around here is, oh, if the CRA ever came to audit you, you'd roll up the red carpet. Yes, I would, because I'm diligent and I need to have like sleep, and I need to have that.
Yeah. Come have a look.
Me.
I'm doing it all.
Look at what a good job we're doing here. But that's a huge, again, that unromantic, because everything feels like we present this on Facebook and social media. Like, yes, it is fun. Yes, it is. But there are things that you have to pay the bills, do your accounting.
So in the industry, in the bookkeeping accounting industry, I am told that the biggest growing segment of customers currently is 25 to 45-year-old female entrepreneurs. They don't want to do the books themselves. They just want to have oversight on the financials. So what you're telling me, though, is that you're asking more questions than just seeing your P&L statement and all the rest of it. Like, you're in there making sure that your dailies are getting put in, and
I'm putting in the dailies.
You're putting in the dailies. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you're in there.
Yeah, I'm in there. And there's a series of reports I check every morning. Again, I may be more extreme than other people. This is just my experience and what I need,
But it's worked for you.
It's working for me. Exactly. Yeah. So I don't have a business degree. I'm just out here. But I have a series of reports I check, and how things are flowing and the banking, and that's a daily, that's on my list. And the girls know that here, so they know when Heather's, doing her thing, and she just needs a minute to do that. Yeah. My payroll is done by me now. I have computer system, obviously, that does it, but like, it's me. I'm in the weeds in that. I need to know that, because then I can adjust things accordingly.
Well, I mean, you said you've got 8 staff now, so in doing payroll, you're doing vacation pay, and you're doing EI, and you're doing all of those remittances that have to go to the CRA. I mean, I'm less familiar with the system in the States. I'm very familiar with the system in Canada, lucky me. And yeah, it's a deal, right? Like, and I think a lot of employers or I shouldn't even say employers, a lot of entrepreneurs who go into a business and say, I'm going to do this on my own, the whole taking on employees and taking on the payroll piece, that's kind of what shakes the tree a little, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yes, this is when the overwhelm hits you. And be patient. And pay for help to get you there. Honest to God, you might not have, but that is such an important thing to set up for your business. You owe it to yourself too. Yeah, because you are a part of that business that costs money. Yeah, your life depends on that.
And it's not just the financial aspect of the payroll. You've got a human resource that has a personality, and I mean, you've said you're a family here, you're selective in who you bring in, but if there is drama, I'm not saying there is here, but if there is drama, then you're dealing with those personalities and dealing with those issues, which can be tiresome for, Yes.
And I've been lucky enough that I have managers now. So again, this didn't come overnight. This came with learning and struggling. So these managers, I have a customer service manager and an employee manager. That just happened in September. Like 2 months ago.
Evolution.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that just happened to me. And so that took some of that off of me.
I was just about to say, and you're sleeping better now, right? No. Not yet. You still have kids. You still have kids.
Oh gosh. Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah. I always say, don't hustle the hardest in the hard times. You got to hustle. It's a perpetual hustle.
Yeah, marathon, not sprint.
Yeah, and then, and we're all mothers that work here too, and as are you. You have your family balance and all that stuff to deal with, but It's doable.
Any other recommendations for those entrepreneurs out there, whether they're specifically looking at consignment businesses or retail, I guess
Yeah.
we would.
Patience.
Yeah.
Patience. You're not going to get a paycheck every single week in the beginning. It's patience.
Yeah.
Understand that. I believe, a belief of mine is a huge one, and I was taught this by people I have worked for. I worked for wonderful people and my family, is that if you work hard and you are honest, good things will come. So just be honest, be hard, be kind, and patience, man. You need patience to do, in my experience. Just and believe. I have a paper in the back that's hung up on our wall. It says the universe will provide. And we draw pictures of things we need, or what. I know it sounds a little bit ugly, but it's what we do here.
One of my questions for you, if we jump into it next, we'll be doing a little bit of rapid fire, and I was going to ask what's on your vision board.
Okay.
So what did you draw on your board?
So there's a bunch of stuff up there. It's kind of it's like all the girls get to do up there. But I always tell them that the universe will provide as long as you take action.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll add that in there. But yeah. So there's money drawn on there.
Yeah.
There's time. There's a clock.
Yeah.
Money and time are my two biggest commodities, and that's what I pray for the most, is time, and then money to provide for my family. I don't need extravagant things, and for everybody's family here.
Yeah. Got a lot of people counting on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do a couple of rapid fire.
Cool.
And so what's one thing on your 2020 vision board? What's one thing that Heather wants?
You're gonna laugh.
No, I'm not gonna laugh.
Gosh. Okay, so I am working on, I had backyard chickens, hens, in 2016 and 17. And in Tecumseh, with this town we live in, they're implementing a trial period where that can be happening. Again, I didn't have them when I could, but so I would love to build a proper coop in my yard and rejoin the backyard urban.
I will be one of the
Chicken.
first ones coming for eggs.
Yes.
Yes, we will
Bring
be
the
doing an
kids.
eggs Benny breakfast.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah, so that, I know it sounds strange, but that's like, outside of the business would be, just a dream come true for me. I enjoyed my time when I had them.
No, that's real life. That's like the
real life.
essence of this,
Yeah,
right? Like that's awesome.
It's real life.
Cool.
Right.
Okay, so 2020 vision board. So under the Christmas tree this year, is there anything that you're hoping to find?
Nope.
Just the time with
Not
family?
me. Yeah, I honestly would love to just, time.
Yeah. Sit and have your coffee while the kids open their stuff and you don't have to look for batteries or unbox anything.
Yes.
Amen.
I just want to sit there with my family. I know that sounds just so mundane, but nothing. I don't want nothing.
Yeah.
No. I'm good.
What about, obviously running your own store, time is an issue. Dream vacation.
I'd love to do a Cape Horn cruise.
Ooh,
So go around South America. That's been on my list for a long time, to do that whole
That would
run.
be incredible.
That's my dream.
Okay, let me know. I'm going to be in your luggage.
Okay.
So.
Deal. Yep.
All right. Where can everybody find you?
We are on 11958 Tecumseh Road East in Tecumseh, Ontario. And we are between, a lot of people say, well, where on Tecumseh Road is such a long road? We are between Banwell and L'Esperance, next to the beer store.
Yep. Across from Tecumseh Sub.
Yep, across from Tecumseh Sub. If you grew up in Tecumseh, this is the old CIBC Bank.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, makes sense now. But
the vaults are back. The vaults are back there. I can show you after. So the old CIBC Bank next to their old Rap Shack. So here we are. You can also find us Instagram at Little Gems Instagram, and our Facebook page. Our Facebook community is awesome.
Yes.
And huge. So you can find us Little Gems Children's Consignment Boutique on Facebook. Throw us a like, whatever, see what we have to offer there. You can purchase things online. We don't ship. It's not something we do, but you can in-store pickup.
Yeah.
We have a lot of grandmas that shop for loved ones across the country, and they ship it.
And that's one
where we
thing
are.
that I want to mention is some of the different shops that I follow across our fabulous country, I've got family in those areas. And so if I see something, I'm like, yes, on my account or what have you. And then I've got the family who go and grab it. And then when I see them next, I can get those things.
Good. So that work, you
it
understand?
works.
It works.
It works for me. It works for my family in BC.
Yes.
So
right. We just
in
had
Toronto.
a grandma send boxes to BC. And her daughter's like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And she was so thrilled of everything. And it was awesome. She was watching the page and she was just buying and buying. What do you need? It's super convenient. We're open 7 days a week. We're here. And our consignment runs, you can drop off items Monday to Friday. Anytime during our open hours. You don't have to make an appointment. Don't have to call us. Show up. We gotcha. Go on our website, though, before you come, go on our website because there's rules about it. So 40 pieces a day. It'll tell you what we're taking, what we're not taking. www.littlegemsconsignment.com. And if you have any questions, obviously you can call us as well, 519-956-8555. That was really fast, but it's also on our Facebook page.
It'll be in the show notes.
Yeah.
You'll get it in
There
the
you
show
go.
notes.
So you can find us here, and I get a lot of questions about, are we going to expand? Or we're going to have a second location? I get all these questions.
What's the future hold for Little Gems? What the future hold for Heather?
Gosh, some days I feel like, yes, let's take over the world. Let's just like do this and franchise. And then some days I'm like, oh my gosh, we're fine. Just a little less. So I don't know what the future holds. We do need more space.
If there's anybody out there with commercial space,
more room. But as far as now goes, my kids are still very busy and young, and not willing to split myself yet.
No.
So we're gonna hang tight.
I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and they were saying everything's good unless I'm asked about career aspirations. And I said, you know what? It's okay to say that you're good where you are right now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a little bit comforting too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not that you don't want more. You just don't want more right now. Right now is good.
Yeah, I want to enjoy a little bit.
Especially when our kids are young.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what? I'm happy. Things are good.
Right. When I think back, I had a 3-year-old when I started all this. I'm like, oh my gosh, she grew up here. I'm gonna bring her.
Oh.
So. Yay.
Well, thank you, Heather, and to all of our viewers, amazing, right? So definitely let us know in the comments if you're shopping consignment. If you're not, why not? Get on it. And if there are any other Canadians that you want to see on this show, definitely let us know, and we'll get on that. So thank you, guys. See you later. Woo! God, we did it.
We did.
I get it, yeah.
Because
because money came to me when I was 18. I had already corn tasseled and I was what I call a custodial engineer. I worked as a janitor at the 401 rest stop outside of Tilbury.
Okay.
So there were truckers coming into the bathroom. I was 16 and they would pee right in front of me. So it's like if I'm cleaning a urinal while a trucker's cleaning in front of me, I've done my time. Thank you very much. I've done my time. Anything that comes to me, universe, I've earned it. And I mean, I know people have things a lot worse than that, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,